In this installment, we're going to be going over the MLB bet slate for Sunday, June 2nd. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Chef D, and I'm here to bring you the winning ingredients for our MLB bet slate we got going on for Sunday, June 2nd. But before we deep dive into that, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and Twitter at MetsNetsJetsD. Don't forget about that TikTok at Chef_D91, and don't forget about that Patreon. Right now, we're at the homepage of the YouTube channel, currently at 5.25 thousand subscribers. This is the road to 10K, and we are well on our way. Thank you guys so much for all the support and love that you guys been showing this channel here. If you're already subscribed, continue to like and comment. That helps the YouTube algorithm so we can go out to a broader audience. If you're not subscribed right now, I highly recommend you guys subscribe to this channel right now. You're missing out on a great community on YouTube and on Patreon. All right, so like, comment, and subscribe. It's super important, so we can go out to a broader audience. All right, now for the Patreon, I'm gonna go off where we left off before. That was the game 5 of the Dallas Mavericks and the Minnesota Timberwolves. I did give out +5 for the Mavericks. Plus, I did say the Timberwolves, but I told you that I was strongly leaning towards the points of the Mavericks. It was too many points for them with all the games being close, and look what happened. The Mavericks came out, Luka Doncic came out and dominated. These were some of the plays that I had on the Patreon. We had a phenomenal night that particular night. I gave out the over first half total. That hit over 107. I gave out this same game parlay, as you can see right here. Anthony Edwards over 22, PJ Washington over 7, Anthony Edwards over 4.5 assists, and Kyrie over 2.5 rebounds. That was +135. Nice little double up there. That hit. I told you the +5 of the Dallas Mavericks. Late before the game started, that line started to drop. That's why you see the 4.5. And then I did have a future. Like I said, I had the future for game 6. But then I started seeing some things. I let the community know on Patreon that Dallas Mavericks definitely should win today. That +5 is great value. So I cashed out. So perfect timing. I cashed out of the game 6 prop future, as you can see there. And I got that money there. All right. So if you want the premium plays, we have been struggling the past 2 days. That's all right. We're going to get back on track. Plus, we have the NBA future in the back pocket. All right. I still have the NBA future in the back pocket. If you want to know the future for the series, the correct series, I'm going to put that out as well. And we're going to be gearing up for MLB more consistently. And the MLB future will be posted on Patreon as well. So sign up for that link provided down below. I'm so excited to announce I have partnered with BetStamp and Sign Up Expert to provide you guys with an easier way to sign up with any sportsbook in your area. If you go to the link in the description down below, you will be directed to this page you see here. It automatically displays all available sportsbooks in your area plus their current promotions. For example, you could take the plays given in this video and apply it to any other sportsbooks you don't currently have and reap the rewards. Now let's get into the slate. First game up for the Sunday slate here. We got the Minnesota Twins going up against the Houston Astros. Twins are 32-26 going up against the Astros 26-33. Looking at the current odds right now, the Astros on the money line are at a -140 with the comeback of the Minnesota Twins at a +115. The run spread obviously is at a 1.5, and then the total runs are set at 8.5. All right. For the full game public bet percentage here, 74% of the bets are on Houston. That's the public, but we have 82% of the money there coming in on the Minnesota Timberwolves. So the sharp money is on the side of the Timberwolves, on the side of the Minnesota Twins, to win this game and to win the series. Because currently right now, this series is tied 1-1. This is the third and final game on Sunday. All right, for the total runs, 85% of the bets and 86% of the money towards the over. All right, so that could be very solid play there on the over of that 8.5. Looking at these pitchers here, Hunter Brown is one win, 5 losses, 6.39 ERA. He has struggled this year. He has a high whip versus lefties and righties at home, and he's home in this game here. And versus righties, a 2.08 home run per 9, plus his xFIP is 5.02. That is absolutely horrible versus righties. All right, he's going to see a ton of righties in this Minnesota Twins lineup here. Simeon Woods Richardson, on the other hand, has been solid. He's been pitching very well this season for the Twins. 2-0 with a 2.70 ERA. Very solid this year. 24 innings, only 10 runs given up. He's given up a 275 average and only a 3 ERA on the road. So nothing too alarming that we've seen from him. In this Astros lineup here, this pitching rotation that they have, all throughout it, other than Framber Valdez, he's been pretty solid. Everyone else and their little Blanco kid, he's been fine. Hunter Brown has struggled. Arrighetti has struggled. We're going to take advantage of this rotation here, or one of their weaker starters. Give me the Minnesota Twins on the money line at the plus 115. If you want to play it safe, you can take that plus 1.5. But you are losing some value there. But I think that secures that spot, because I do think the Minnesota Twins are in a better position here. And I do expect the Twins to score a lot of runs. I'm going to be leaning towards the over 8.5 there with Hunter Brown. I think the Twins bats can get rolling, and probably Houston Astros try to fight back and come back in that back end of the last 5 innings. And you can see this go towards the over there. All right, let's move on to the next. Next up, Tampa Bay Rays here, 28-31, going up against the Baltimore Orioles here, 37-19. The Tampa Bay Rays, if we're looking at the odds, Orioles are minus 140 on the money line. So very short money line here with this in-division matchup in the AL East. Tampa Bay Rays, you can get them at a plus 115. Usually you see the Orioles in that 190 to almost 200 range. They're paying a little bit of respects here to this Tampa Bay Rays team here, because they are division rivals. Run spread at a 1.5, and the total is set at 8.5. For the public bet percentage here, 99% of the bets and 97% of the money all over the Baltimore Orioles here at that minus 140 spot here. So heavy public favor. You can imagine this is going to be in a lot of parlay pieces as well, because you're getting the Orioles at a very cheap price. The total runs here, 86% of the bets towards the over, 83% of the money towards the over. All right, Zach Littell is 2-3 with a 3.47 ERA. Both of these pitchers here have been pitching very well this season. And then Cole Irvin, the left-hander, at home, 5-2 with a 2.84 ERA. I thought he would do bad this season. He's been solid as well. For Zach Littell versus the Orioles, he's 7 out of 30 against them, so a .233 batting average. He has a very high K rate as well to righties, 27% K rate to righties. And then Cole Irvin has been phenomenal this season, but this Rays team does struggle to get runs. So with that alone, I'm leaning towards, as the best play here, under 8.5 between these two pitchers and these rivals here. So I'm going to be leaning towards the under 8.5 to definitely, that's going to be contrarian against everything. And I do like the Baltimore Orioles to get this sweep here. But the top play for this particular game, under 8.5. In New York, we have the Arizona Diamondbacks going up against the New York Mets here, 26-32. And the Mets are 24-34 here. Looking at the current odds, this is the Diamondbacks as slight road favorites here on the money line at a minus 115, with the comeback of the New York Mets at a minus 105. The run spread is at a 1.5, and the total is set at 8 runs. Okay, for the public bet percentage here, 70% of the bets towards the Diamondbacks and 94% of the money towards the Diamondbacks. So this is a rightfully road favorite here with all the money public and sharps all on the Diamondbacks here, and there's a reason for that. All right, so for the total runs, 86% of the bets towards the over, 82% of the money towards the over as well. For the starting pitching, we have Brandon Pfaff and Jose Quintana. Pfaff is 2 for 4 with a 4.16 ERA. Quintana has been horrible this year, 1-5 with a 5.06 ERA. At least Pfaff has some solid games in him. Quintana started okay in the first couple starts, but since then he has been tanking. All right. Now, the real good matchup here for the Arizona Diamondbacks is that they're the number one team in the league against left-handed pitching. We saw it today on Saturday against Sean Manaea. They got to him and hit a grand slam with Christian Walker there. So number one in the league versus lefties overall. 2.76 average, 84 RBIs, 18 home runs. And then you have the batter versus pitcher here against Jose Quintana. This Diamondbacks lineup has hit him very well with a 3.44 average throughout their whole entirety. So it doesn't bode well here. You see 2 home runs, 13 RBIs, 10 walks. Across the board, it's been pretty bad for Jose Quintana going up against this team here. And for Brandon Pfaff on the other side, he's been pretty solid versus righties. Mostly righty lineup he's going to see in the New York Mets as well. Only 3 lefties versus righties. Only a 173 average, batting average, so very low. 220 WOBA and only 3 home runs allowed. So he's been pretty solid. I'm going to take the advantage of the Arizona Diamondbacks going up against the lefty yet again, so they can tie this series here. So give me the road favorite here in the Diamondbacks, and I'm going to be leaning towards this is tough here. I'm going to be leaning towards the over in this game as well. I highly expect this Arizona team to get up early. But there is question marks with this Diamondbacks bullpen, and the Mets could tack on some runs at the end, okay? In Atlanta, we have the Oakland A's going up against the Atlanta Braves here, 24-36 with the Athletics, 32-24 with the Atlanta Braves. Looking at the current odds over here, we are looking at a money line of the Braves at a -240 with the comeback of the Athletics at a +200. The run line obviously is at a 1.5, and the total set at 8.5. So if we're looking at these 2 particular pitchers here, Charlie Morton, who's been your solid veteran ace, as you know, going up against Luis Medina, who's been a AAA guy and has been absolutely horrible. Just with Charlie Morton, he did struggle in his previous start against the Washington Nationals. He got rocked in that one. This should be a definite bounce back spot, especially after Athletics shocked the Braves on Saturday, beating them 11-9. Okay. Now you throw in Charlie Morton and ace going up against a AAA pitcher here against this Atlanta Braves offense. Medina has been horrible in AAA with a 14.63 ERA. So far this year in 2024, 8 innings, 10 Ks with a 2.13 whip, so absolutely horrible whip. In his full career, 14-25 with a 5.13 ERA, horrible, and a 1.56 whip. The only benefit to Luis Medina is he does throw a very good, he has a very good K rate here, 386 innings in AAA or in the minors with 469 strikeouts. So definitely well over 1 strikeout per inning for Luis Medina, but there's a lot of question marks here with that 14 ERA so far right now in the AAA and just a career ERA of 5. This is a definite bounce back spot here for the Atlanta Braves. Give me the run line at a -1.5 and give me the over 8.5 in this game. In Cleveland, next up we have the Washington Nationals going up against the Cleveland Guardians. 26-31 for the Washington Nationals and 39-19 for the Cleveland Guardians here. Right now, this series is 2-0 going towards the Guardians. They won the first 2 games, and this is the 3rd and final matchup on Sunday. Looking at the current odds right now, the Cleveland Guardians are favorited at -150 with the comeback of the Washington Nationals at a +130. The total is set at 8.5, and obviously the run line is at a 1.5. We have a pitching matchup here. Young and aspiring Jake Irvin going up against the clear veteran gas can and Carlos Carrasco. If we're looking at these two matchups here in this series here, where you don't want the Nationals to get swept, the Nationals don't want to get swept at all. We have Carlos Carrasco. He doesn't have much left in the tank. I really don't understand why he continues to pitch, because he's been putrid time in and time out the last couple years, especially with injury. He's coming in and out of the IL. He has a big home run problem against righties, a 2.28 home run per 9. That does not bode well for him against the Washington Nationals. Jake Irvin, on the other hand, he's been pitching very well this season with a 3.43 ERA and that 1.03 whip. The only problem with him is no run support. But this is a perfect situation here where you got the National Bats going up against a pitcher that they can definitely take advantage of, possibly hit a couple home runs off as well. I'm going to be going with Jake Irvin here to get his third win of this season, and give me the Nationals to avoid a sweep here over the Cleveland Guardians. In Kansas City here, we have the Royals going up against the San Diego Padres. Padres are 32-29. The Royals are 35-25. Very surprising team here in the Kansas City Royals. They've been playing phenomenal this season, but they have hit a little bit of a rough patch against the Padres. They gave up the first 2 games against the Padres. This is the third game here in this series here, and they're trying to avoid a sweep. Looking at the odds, the Royals are favored in this game here, minus 125, with the comeback of the Padres at a plus 105. The run line at a 1.5, and the total set at 8.5. These two pitchers you got here, Michael King, who has a lot of potential here, just needs to refine some things, going up against a stud here in Cole Ragans, who's young, but he's been pitching phenomenal. This is the ace of the Kansas City Royals here, left-hander, and has had a fantastic strikeout rate. All right, so for Cole Ragans, he's been great and only getting better. Home run per 9 is 0.46, which is phenomenal. Batting average against righties is 219. That's phenomenal. His whip is at a 1.17, and then the K per 9 is 11.44. So you got major strikeout stuff here with Cole Ragans as a lefty. Michael King, on the other hand, does have very good K stuff, but he does have control problems. He has an issue with walking. And against this team and against the Royals, they have hit Michael King very well with a 300 average that they gave up. And let's see. 2 home runs, 3 RBIs. I don't know why that thing's not coming down, but that's okay. So there's a major issue here with Michael King in his walk rate. That's an issue. How aggressive the Kansas City Royals are of getting guys in position, stealing bases. I think he's not going to do well in this scenario here. I'm going to be leaning on the young starter, the young ace here in Cole Ragans to get this win on the money line for the Kansas City Royals. And if I'm going with an over and under that 8.5, I'm going to lean towards the under 8.5 runs. I think the strong side of the Kansas City pitching is going to hold well. I do expect Michael King to be solid, but give up some runs and give away the game. All right, let's go on to the next. In San Francisco, we got the New York Yankees 40-19 going up against the Giants 29-29. As of right now, the Yankees currently on the money line at a minus 150 with the comeback of the San Francisco Giants at a plus 125. The run spread at a 1.5 and the total set at 8. All right, I would expect this total to be higher. Very shocked about that number right there. For the full game public bet percentage, 100% of the bets on the Yankees, 97% of the money on the Yankees. For the total runs, 95% of the bets on the over and 95% of the money towards the over. The pitching matchup here, Nestor Cortez, 3-4 with a 3.30 ERA, going up against Blake Snell, who is 0-3. He does not have a win yet this season with a 10.42 ERA. So he's struggled throughout this season. Been on the IL, came back, been on paternity leave, came back. So he does not have no consistency yet. I don't expect him to bounce back against this Yankee lineup as well. All right, for Nestor Cortez, he has home and road splits. He's very good at home in New York, But on the road, as of right now, and this is 30 innings on the road, 6.16 ERA on the road. Home run per 9 is at a 2.19, and the batting average at a 290. So this game here is looking like an over spot here. Give me the over 8 runs here as my favorite play. Technically, this line I saw it earlier at a 7.5, so it has gone up. So it has gone up to 8. Give me the over in runs. Love this play here. Over 8 runs. And if I'm choosing someone to win, I'm going to be going with the Yankees lineup on that money line at a -150. I cannot trust Blake Snell. I definitely have to see what he can put forth before I'm going to back some money with him. Last but not least, we have the St. Louis Cardinals going up against the Philadelphia Phillies here. Phillies 40-18, Cardinals 27-28. The Cardinals are trying to avoid a sweep. Right now, the Cardinals are down 6-1 in the top of the ninth. I imagine that they will lose that game. So they're trying to avoid a sweep here against the Philadelphia Phillies. All right, looking at the current money line or in the odds, Phillies -140 as home favorites. Cardinals on the comeback at a +115, run spread at a 1.5, and the total run set at 9. All right, for the public bet percentage here, 95% of the bets, 100% of the money here, all over the Philadelphia Phillies here. Total runs are set at 9, 85% of the bets, and 72% of the money towards the over 9 runs here, and that's pretty solid there. I might be leaning towards the over here because of this pitching matchup. Lance Lynn 2 and 3, 3.45 ERA. The question mark is Taijuan Walker. 3-1 with a 5.51 ERA. He's been pretty questionable this year. Lance Lynn has been good this season, one of your solid veterans in this rotation for the St. Louis Cardinals. And he has a good history against the Philadelphia Phillies lineup as well. On the other hand, the question mark is Taijuan Walker. He's been very poor this year, solid the last 2 seasons, but he is struggling against left-handed hitting, giving up a 5.56 xFIP, so that's expected FIP right there. That's horrible. A 2.11 WHIP. And he's going to be seeing guys, the left-handed hitters in that lineup for the Cardinals here, in Nolan Gorman, who's been phenomenal with 10 home runs, Mike Ciani, Dylan Carlson, who's a switch hitter, and Alec Burleson. So those hitters there are in prime position to go up against Taijuan Walker. He's struggled all year long at home and on the road. I'm going to be going with the St. Louis Cardinals to avoid a sweep here. Give me them on a money line at a +115. If you want to play it safe, you can take that run spread. That's always available to play it safe, but you are missing out some value. And I'm going to be leaning towards the under 9. Okay, I'm gonna lead towards the under 9. I do expect the Cardinals to score some runs, but I do not expect the Phillies to be scoring that many runs against Lance Lynn, who's been very, very good against this Philadelphia Phillies lineup. So those are going to be the plays for Sunday. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Let me know in that comment section down below, what are your thoughts and opinions on this slate we got on Sunday. If you want the remainder of my plays and selections for this slate on Sunday as well, you sign up for that Patreon link that's provided down below, and I'll be back with another video very soon. All right, peace out.